This week, a snowball fight stirs up controversy in the city, and trading cards worth thousands of dollars are being stolen. Plus,
I don't know what's going on in this world right now.
Police make several arrests after a social media takeover at a mall. Right now, Fox 5's Crime in the City. For our first story this week, we begin down in Washington Square Park. That's where a large and rowdy crowd drove NYPD officers away with a barrage of snowballs. Police have now made an arrest in that case.
Guzman Coulibaly walked out of a Manhattan courtroom yesterday on supervised release after prosecutors declined to charge him with assault. The 27-year-old was accused of injuring police officers during a snowball fight in Washington Square Park earlier this week. Instead, those charges were knocked down to obstructing governmental administration, which is a misdemeanor, and harassment, a non-criminal violation. Police detained Coulibaly early Thursday morning at his home in the Bronx and charged him with assaulting a police officer. But after reviewing evidence, including social media posts and body camera footage, prosecutors claim they were unable to prove that responding officers suffered any physical injuries caused directly by the defendant's actions. First, you'll hear reaction from PBA President Pat Hendry and then from Coulibaly's lawyer.
This was no few kids getting together snowball fight. This was an attack on the uniform that these police officers wear so proudly every day. They came after these police officers, pelting them with ice, rocks. The ice was packed with rocks. That's what they were doing.
Attack? I mean, we've all seen it and we've all seen attacks. We're all New Yorkers. It didn't look like an attack to me. What I saw in the video didn't look like an attack. Did it go a little past, jokes and fun? Was it possibly a little disrespectful to the police? Yes.
Coulibaly was taken into police custody after the NYPD released photos of 4 men wanted for attacking uniformed officers with snowballs. Investigators say he was arrested less than 3 weeks ago for an attempted robbery in the transit system. The incident has divided New Yorkers, many of whom were outraged after Mayor Zohran Mamdani repeatedly said it looked like, quote, kids at a snowball fight. Yesterday, City Hall released this statement saying, as the mayor has said, police officers deserve to be treated with respect. The videos he saw showed a snowball fight that got out of hand. He does not believe this situation rises to the level of criminal charges. Governor Hochul, though, had a completely different response when she specifically was asked if she thought criminal charges were appropriate.
Our police officers put themselves in harm's way every single day, and there is no circumstance where it's okay to throw anything at a police officer, so that is appropriate.
The PPA says the police officers injured during Monday's altercation are currently on leave as they recover from their injuries. Investigators, remember, are still looking for 3 other suspects allegedly involved in this snowball fight, or whatever you want to call it.
We now head to Chelsea, where police say 2 men set a woman's boots on fire, all while making anti-black statements in what's being called a hate crime. Authorities have since arrested 2 suspects.
The NYPD's hate crime task force is looking for 2 men accused of setting a woman on fire. It happened last Thursday in Chelsea. Police say one of the suspects approached the 50-year-old victim and attempted to kiss her. She pushed him away. The men then proceeded to make an anti-black statement and used a lighter to set her boots on fire. The woman ran off and was not physically injured.
Over in Corona, Queens, police say there have been multiple incidents of trading cards being stolen. These cards are valued at thousands of dollars.
Well, a warning for people involved in a popular trading card game.
Yeah, the NYPD looking for a suspect they say lured in a victim on Facebook Marketplace to rob his collection. Kendall Green's live in Corona, Queens with the details. And Kendall, this wasn't the only time something like this happened.
Yeah, hey, good evening, Steve and Natasha. Police confirmed both individuals in both incidents were after collectible cards worth thousands of dollars. Now, they add that both incidents happened here near Corona and Sawtell Avenues. That was the first one on Thursday after a trio and a victim arranged to meet on Facebook Marketplace. Around 7:30, police say the female and 2 males met with their victim to exchange trading cards worth about $4,500. Now, while the victim was inspecting the cards, police say one man began began hitting him with a glass bottle, while the other two removed his jacket before fleeing with the cards. Now, the second incident was just a day later on Friday. Police say around 6 p.m., a man broke into a home on the same street and removed packages containing more trading cards valued at $30,000. The person behind the act got away, and police released these images of one of the individuals believed to be responsible. Here's retired NYPD Lieutenant Dr. Darren Porcher with his recommendations following this robbery pattern.
Highly recommend that you conduct this level of business at either a local precinct or a highly public place, such as 34th Street and 6th Avenue, something to that effect, because it would act as a deterrent for an individual that's looking to embark upon nefarious behavior against you. But these Pokemon cards have seemed to be something that's reaching an apex as it relates to theft.
Now, this robbery comes just 1 month after a Pokemon store in the meatpacking district was robbed at gunpoint by 3 armed suspects, with dozens of workers and customers still inside at the time. Surveillance video shows 2 of the individuals smashing glass display cases with a hammer, while many inside stood frozen in fear. Now, the store owner shares those robbers got away with more than $100,000 worth of merchandise. Now, regarding this, no arrests have been made in that case, but regarding this case here in Queens, police are asking anyone with any information to come forward.
We now travel to the Queensboro Bridge, where a teenage boy got stuck in a shaft after a TikTok stunt went very wrong. Now 2 other teens face charges in this case.
2 teenagers have been charged after a 16-year-old was trapped inside the shaft of the Queensboro Bridge. So this was a result of an apparent TikTok stunt that went wrong. The boys, 14 and 15-year-old, were both charged with criminal trespassing. The younger teenager was also charged with reckless endangerment, according to the police. Roughly 75 first responders were needed to rescue that young boy, who's still in the hospital but in critical and stable condition. Now, apparently, these 2 young boys that were with the boy that fell in the shaft, they left him.
They took the phone.
They took his phone. Yeah. They left him in the shaft to die, according to police.
Right.
And a lot of people are very, very upset. And I think those 2 young boys have been charged.
Yeah, it looks like they have. One of the other urban adventurers is the one who reported the whole thing and then, kind of got all caught up there. But.
I mean, why not call police or something when your friend falls down a shaft?
Right, maybe they were scared, but now police involved, so there you go. We now leave the city for Long Island, where 9 teenagers were arrested after a takeover involving more than 100 children at Green Acres Mall. The gathering was reportedly organized on social media.
A group of teenagers have been arrested after a social media-driven takeover at a Long Island mall.
Fox Eye's Michelle Ross takes a closer look at how these online posts can quickly spiral.
What began as posts on social media ended with police lights flashing and 9 arrests. The incident playing out at Green Acres Mall in Valley Stream this week after reports of a large disturbance. They found between 100 and 150 minors yelling, causing disruptions, and refusing to leave. The mall was shut down for safety. Aisha Hurley was locked inside a store for 2 hours.
My kids, when they know their representation of me, when they go outside, that what you portray and how you are is how I raised you. So I don't know what's going on in this world right now.
8 teenagers, some as young as 13, and a 19-year-old adult were arrested, now facing charges including riot, robbery, assault, and weapon possession. The incident is what's called a social media takeover, a concerning trend when large groups, often teens, organize online and flood a public place, sometimes leading to violence and property damage.
It's just so unfortunate because the takeovers are the downstream effect of design decisions and social media that amplify social pressure and impulsivity in kids whose brains aren't fully developed yet.
She's also the author of the book Parental Control and says parents play a critical role and that even though it's hard, delay their access to social media until 16. You can still give them a cell phone that tracks their location and allows them to text with limited internet access, just not Snapchat, Instagram, or other similar apps.
There's a reason why we have seatbelts in cars. There's a reason why kids shouldn't drive until they're 16. We shouldn't be giving them these very powerful tools that can impact their life and others' lives when they're 5th grade, 6th grade, 8th grade, they're just not ready yet.
All minors who were charged were given appearance tickets, and they're expected in family court next month. The adult suspect, the 19-year-old, he will face charges in district court.
And finally, we end at Ramapo College in New Jersey. That's where students are working with investigative genetic genealogy that's being used to solve crimes.
Well, as part of the Nancy Guthrie case, investigators are using a new type of technology, genetic genealogy, test DNA, but instead of looking for an exact match, it searches for potential relatives.
Fox 8's Teresa Briello takes us to Ramapo College, where students are getting hands-on experience with this tech.
As the world is dialed into the Nancy Guthrie investigation, hanging on every update and every word out of Arizona, there's a group of students and a professor here at Ramapo College that are dialed into the most advanced investigative tools, the same tools that investigators are using to try and bring Nancy Guthrie home. It's called IGG. That stands for Investigative Genetic Genealogy. Now, here's what it is. When everybody thinks about DNA testing, they think of your traditional DNA match from a crime scene. But once that fails, there is in fact a way to dig into available genetic genealogy data and attempt to reverse engineer a match. Using sites like GEDmatch Pro and Family Tree DNA, investigators can look at any uploaded DNA profile from a consumer DNA database and then comb through it with things like census data. Slowly, they're going to follow the trail to whoever left that DNA behind in Nancy Guthrie's house. And it might seem crazy, but 3 million people have already opted into these kinds of services. Here's David Gurney explaining what IGG is and how it works to solve crimes.
We would look at matches, relatives to that individual, the perpetrator of this crime, or whoever left the DNA behind that's been tested. And building up the family trees of those matches will allow us to reverse engineer and zero in on where that individual who we're looking for fits into the family tree. And it can be any member of the public who's taken a DNA test that could be the key to help solve this case. Really, it's one person can be that key.
So many of us have used sites like Ancestry.com and 23andMe, so you might be asking yourself, well, can law enforcement just tap into that site and use that information to possibly try to find the person that harmed Nancy Guthrie? I'm told by the professors here, no, they can't. And why? Because those companies' privacy policies don't allow it. They can only access certain profiles that people have uploaded to sites like GEDmatch Pro and Family Tree DNA. So if you take anything away from this, it's to take that DNA profile that you have, and if you want to help solve crimes, put it on a site like GEDmatch Pro or Family Tree DNA. Then and only then could you potentially help solve a crime, either the Nancy Guthrie case or any other open case.
I'm Dan Bowens, and that's this week's Crime in the City.